Okay, so now we are moving to module 8, which is fire protection system testing, right? We will be discussing regarding the testing of fire protection system. So we have the learning objectives from this module, right? We have to list the element that contribute to fire protection system reliabilities, discuss the impact of unreliable fire protection system on the public, the business continuity, business community, and the fire service. Describe the fire code officials' role in inspection and testing of fire protection system. And the last one we have the system acceptance test, maintenance, and periodic inspection and retest. Right. So moving on to the introduction of this module, we have active fire protection system and passive fire protection system. Right. We discussed in the life safety code regarding the difference between the active and passive fire protection system, right? The active we have all kind of the water-based fire protection system, like a sprinkler system is an example of the active fire protection system, and standpipe system, fire pump, and all those are the active one. But the passive one, which is like a fire barrier, right? The firewall, the passive fire protection system, and all, which is just part and just based on the construction material, their ratings of the fire hours and all. In this figure, if you can see, in the left we have a gaseous sufficient system at the top and the bottom. These are some of the example of the active fire protection system. In the right, we can see we have a throw penetration, right? A pipe is just penetrating a wall, and those walls need to be sealed. So this is a passive fire protection system, right? We have a gypsum board. Gypsum is having some of the fire ratings, the joint, the thermal insulation, and so on. So the passive means it is just a construction material to isolate the fire within the same area of the origin. The fire should not go outside of those boundaries. The active fire protection features, right, is reduce the property loss, minimize business interruption, and protect lives of building occupants. We discussed a lot regarding the active fire protection system, right? We discussed regarding the sprinkler system, standpipe system, foam system, and all those systems, which is the active fire protection system, right? Now moving on to the effectiveness of those active system, right? The reliability that depends on the contribution of the four system, right? The active fire protection system is based on design, equipment, installation, and maintenance. You design well, equipment is well, installation is as per NFPA code requirement, but you are not doing the maintenance, then your service is not going to work, right? So we have to follow all those four requirements. And the same elements are applicable to all active fire protection features, right? Like the extinguishing system, a smoke control system, and alarms. The fire service has a vested interest in reliability of the system. This is why you have to follow NFPA 25, which is for water-based fire protection system. ITM means ITM stand for installation, testing, and maintenance of inspection, testing, and maintenance of fire protection system, the active one. Which building and why, right? The building codes have always permitted the reduction of certain fire resistant rated failure in sprinkler building. If your building is protected by the sprinkler system, the fire protection ratings of the wall, covering, floor, and all should be reduced based on the requirement. Extremely low chance that a major fire will occur in a building that is fully protected with a properly maintained sprinkler system. Right, so when there is a fire and if the system is installed with the fire sprinkler system, the building, and you have maintained your system, in that case the sprinkler system will control the fire within the area of those areas, right? It will not go beyond that region. And the sprinkler are the most cost effective and efficient method of protecting property from fire, right? As it will control the fire within the same area, right? If you can see the table here, we have a table, right? The tables includes regarding the types of the occupancies, building without sprinklers, building with sprinkler, right? Fire loss reduction in sprinkler building. If you can see the occupancy type, we have the stores and offices, manufacturing houses, healthcare occupancies, and public assemblies areas, right? In building without sprinklers, right, we have a cost of 2500, 25,000, right? Building with sprinkler, we have the cost of 11,700. What they are talking, right? The loss from the fire in the building with the sprinkler system is reduced by 53% in store and offices. In the public assemblies area, if you are installed a sprinkler system, your loss is only up to 6,500 USD, right? Compared to without sprinkler building as for 21800. Now this figure comes from the various research of NFPA codes, right? NFPA are doing some of the research by time to time, and they found the building protection based on the sprinkler system requirement or without the sprinkler system requirements. Now, in return for a complete sprinkler system, a building can be additional story in height, can be in large size, and fire resistance rating of system member can be reduced. Treble distance to exist can be increased based on the knowledge that the sprinkler system greatly reduce the rate of fire growth and probability of flashover. If you install the sprinkler system inside your building, right? If suppose you install your sprinkler system inside a building, now, as per the life safety code or the model code, which is the IF Saudi fire code or Saudi building code, based on that, we can increase the area of the building, the height of the building, right? The passive fire protection system, the fire hour ratings reduce, maximum travel distance to go outside or the dead end corridors. If we are going to install the sprinkler system within a building, there we have lots of incentive for the fire and sprinkler installation, right? The benefit we have, we can increase the height, we can increase the areas, we can even reduce the structural rating. This is our let's say this is our structural protection. We need 4 hours of fire protection ratings, we can reduce to 2 hours if you protect with the sprinkler system, right? And we can increase the travel distance to the exit. Normally, as for the life safety code, we have some distance in meter, we cannot go beyond that, but if you are installing the sprinkler system, we can go beyond that one, right? And this decrease in the separation of the exit. The bottom line of that is, no, if you are installing the sprinkler system, we have some incentive for from the building code for sprinkler system installation. We can utilize those incentive to increase the site further. Now moving on to the reliability, right? How reliable is your sprinkler system, right? Right, sprinkler system are a very reliable form of fire protection system. The reliability of fire protection system depends on proper design, installation, and maintenance. Maintenance is required. If you are not maintaining your fire protection system based on the code requirement, like NFPA 25, which is for the inspection, testing, and maintenance of the fire protection system. If you are not maintaining your system, right, then your system is not going to work. Let's say your sprinkler control valve at the riser is closed and there is a fire. Then there is no water going inside that one. You are not going to protect that one, right? Or maybe there is a obstruction inside your system and you are not maintaining. So the reliability is based on the maintenance of the system, the design of the system, and the installation. How you have designed your system, how you follow the installation requirement, and how you are going to maintain based on NFPA requirement, right? We have a table, right? The table says that the leading causes of unsatisfactory sprinkler performance between 1925 all the way to 1969, a research done by NFPA research teams, right? They did a research, and what they found that, around if a building is installed with the fire protection system and during fire the sprinkler system didn't control the fire and total building destroyed, what was the reason for that? They found that in most of the cases, in most of the cases, around 35.4% of the time, the control valve is closed. So now your input is closed at the time point. The sprinkler system not going to not going to protect your system. This is why NFPA says that your control valve must be supervised in order to cause any kind of problem in the future. The second, we have system inadequate for level of hazards, right? You design your building for the light hazard occupancies, right? And at the future, uh, the building goes for extra hazard occupancies. Now your sprinkler system is not going to protect. You have to take approval from the building department teams or the code enforcement officers in order to change the quantity, right? And we have the inadequate water supply, inadequate maintenance, obstruction for water system, and system only designed for partial protections. So if you can see in the most of the cases, the control valve is closed is 35.4%, and all the way up to bottom we have 8.1, which is for system only designed for partial protection. Right, so we have to emphasize more on design, installation, and maintenance of your fire protection system. Then we have the fire protection system test, right? As what are the different code, how we are going to do testing for our fire protection system. We can see we have NFPA 11. If you have the foam system, we have to use NFPA 11. If you have the carbon dioxide extinguishing system, we have to use NFPA 13. So on to NFPA 72 is for the fire alarm code, 20 is for the fire pumps, 17 is for dry chemicals, 17A for the wet chemicals. So now for doing inspection testing maintenance, we have to use the specific code for those requirements, right? The model code will give the reference that your system should be maintained as per this requirement of NFPA code. We are not going to violate that rules. So we have the benefit for the system testing, right? What are the benefit for the system testing? We have the testing ensure that system are installed as per approved plans, right? You have installed as per the plans. Everything is as per the design, and we are maintaining the system from time to time, right? So we have to maintain the system as per the requirement from the building code, as per the requirement of the NFPA or the model codes, which is accepted by the jurisdictions. And then we have the maintenance and retest, right? Now we are normally going to NFPA 25, which they have given the maintenance requirement, how you are going to maintain your fire protection system, what is the time interval, what is the maximum duration between maintenance of these particular items, what is the time for one system will go. This all will be followed by the code under which the system is installed, the jurisdiction, the one who is installed those fire protection system, right? So maintenance as for Saudi building code, right? We have to follow 801 CR18. We have to follow the Saudi building code requirement 801 CR18 for maintenance and retest requirement for fire protection system. Now here we comes to the end of module 8.